start recording, and that will start right now. Here we are live with the Blam Partners webinar. We are here live with quite an international crowd, and really good to see you guys. Really appreciate you guys spending a bit of time with us today, learning more about the Blam Partnership Program. The presentation will take about 55 minutes. So if you're watching this on the replay, right now it's just gone 5 o'clock here, so we'll probably take it to the top of the hour, to 6 p.m. here in the UK. This is going to be an informational session, so make some notes, write down some questions, and then if you guys are still interested and kind of aligned with our mission, then what we'd like to set up is a one-to-one deep dive, where I will take you through the programs and, the web design program, the app development, the digital marketing, social media, all the things that you'll learn a little bit about today in a lot more detail. But guys, it's for inspiration purposes. It's for motivation purposes. We like to have a little bit of fun, although Grant's looking ready to go. Have you got your presentation ready? From your new laptop, you're on mute at the moment. So just wanted to introduce you guys to Grant Stain, CEO of Blam, looking very dapper today with his waistcoat on today. Normally we're all dressed up in hoodies. We've just moved offices, so we're on the 21st floor in the center of Birmingham. As you can see, the background is slightly, because the sun is setting beautifully, hopefully. But yeah.
Lovely out there.
You are a little bit quiet, or maybe that's my sound. You do a bit of a sound check. Testing.
Testing.
Yeah, just a little bit quiet. Can everybody hear okay? Yeah, we say yes from Ital, yes from Louis. Yes from Daniel. All right, well, if you're ready to go, Grant, just a bit of housekeeping, guys. I'm going to be available in the chat. So we'll put our mics on mute if you don't mind, and then we'll unmute towards the end for a live Q&A. But I'll be available in the chat on the side. Over to you.
There you go. Just testing the sound. Is that any better, Ed?
Yeah, awesome. Sounds good.
Fantastic. Welcome, guys. And as Ed said, Ed is going to be curating today, so there'll be some opportunity to ask questions down in the chat. So feel free to do that. And as Ed said, my name's Grant Stain. I am the CEO here at Blam. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about Blam Partnership Program today, as well as a bit about setting up your own digital marketing agency. So for those of you that are looking to get involved in the digital marketing world, I'm going to give you a bit of tips and advice today to show you exactly what the do's and don'ts are. And if at the end of this you like the look of Blam, then fantastic. You'll be able to jump on a deep dive with Ed, and he will show you in more detail what we do here at Blam. If not, we just hope that we've given you some inspiration, some motivation, and some takeaways that you'll find valuable. So without further ado, I am going to share my screen. And with a bit of luck, we will have a presentation on its way. How's that looking, Ed?
Whoa, nice background. So what happened to the Blam Jet? Is this, you're still setting up the new laptop?
Yeah, I haven't set up the new laptop properly yet, so my screensaver's a bit boring. Sorry about that. But hopefully you can see the Blam Partners logo now.
Yeah, we're ready to go. Yeah, absolutely great.
Fantastic. Awesome. Brilliant. So guys, as Ed said, we've got an international crowd, and people that will be watching the recording of this as well will be from all over the world. And I think it doesn't matter where we are in the world. We know that based on this time last year, everything has changed, and how could we have imagined this time last year what we've just been through? It really has been a roller coaster. And what we've come to realize is that, these kind of scenarios that we find ourselves in the world that we live in, are pretty much here for the long term now. It's not just now. We thought it was going to be, just a short term thing, this pandemic, but here we are 12 months in, and still we're in lockdowns, still we are social distancing, and it looks like that these scenarios are going to be, here for the long term. But you know what, guys, there's lots of things that we could focus on that are negative, but as I said, we've got a real international crowd. Our Blam partners from all over the world, and the people that come on these webinars are from all over the world. And do you know what? We're all in this together, guys. It's, if anything, it's shown us that the world is a pretty small place, because we've all had a common enemy, and I think we should take stuff from that, because it does kind of make us prioritize what's really important. But I guess that one of the reasons in this pandemic, one of the reasons you're on this presentation is this pandemic has really made you question how is your future going to look, and are you actually wondering now, how can you secure your future? Because which industries, or which where are you going to put your time and energy? Where are you going to put it in the future, and where's that going to be secure? And I'm guessing that one of the reasons you're on this webinar is because you've identified, like a lot of people, that digital, the digital world, and in particular digital marketing, is a very safe bet. It's not going anywhere. And because you've identified that, I just want to reassure you that it really is the only way for businesses right now. If you're in a marketing world, if you're in a world where you're helping small businesses like we have, they haven't been able to survive without embracing digital technology and the tools that we've been supplying for years in order to help them survive any lockdown, any pandemic, any recession. The tools are there. And there's been some fantastic statistics that have been knocking around that have been fascinating for people like us that have been in marketing for so long. But some of them, like, for example, in the first 90 days of the first lockdown, we saw acceleration into the future that was 10 years in terms of the way that we embrace technology, the way that we used e-commerce and online and apps, because we didn't have a choice. We were all stuck at home, and we were forced as consumers to use the internet, to use our websites, to use our mobile phones in order to live, in order to order stuff online, in order to keep ourselves fed and clothed. And as a result of that, Blam as a business was able to accelerate its growth, because all of the tools, the way that we were set up and geared up, were perfectly poised to actually embrace that huge growth. And that's why, as a business and as a partnership program, we found that Blam partners have had much more success in the last 12 months. We've seen lots of partners accelerate their businesses, see huge growth, as have we as a business, because we didn't have to pivot, we didn't have to change anything. All we had to do was further embrace what we were already doing. And what I'd like to do today is just explain to you a little bit about why we were able to adapt so quickly, because there were plenty of businesses in the digital space that didn't fare so well. There were plenty of businesses that were in digital marketing that had to furlough their staff, that they've actually gone under during the recession, during the pandemic, that caused the recession and the double dip recession that we're now looking at. And that really comes down to the way that their businesses were structured. Blam didn't. Blam saw a huge growth. We saw, lots of positivity in the way that we managed and handled the pandemic. And I want to explain why to you now, if you'll allow me. And it all starts by going back in time, just a little look at me back in the past. So I set up my first business, which was a digital marketing agency, back in 2001. And so that was me around about 2007, thinking that I had the entrepreneurial thing sussed, looking very smug with my,
Nice
my fancy car. You like that car, don't you? I still love one of those, actually. That was wicked motor, that was. I've always been a bit of a car nut, by the way, guys. So it's a bit of a thing. Ed likes
They're
to
like racing names on the site. They're actually proper racing names, right? Yeah.
No. That wasn't actually a racing car. It was just that we got that car all stickered up because we drove it to Le Mans. So I don't know if any of you guys know, in France every year there's a very famous race, 24-hour Le Mans, and
endurance
racing. Yeah, 24-hour race, and every year I used to take my car, I used to swap my cars regularly, and I used to get it all stickered up, and then me and my creative director Dave used to go down there and spend the weekend in France, and it was awesome. we did have a race team as well that I sponsored. That was pretty cool. But anyway, I digress. It's just a trouble. You start talking to me about cars, mate, I just go off on a tangent.
I told you were nice and relaxed. This is living the dream there, were you?
I was living the dream, mate. Yeah. And so I thought. And let me just explain a little bit about my business model, guys. So most of the businesses that I serviced were big businesses. So these are the kind of brands that I looked after. And I used to produce marketing projects for them. And for those of you that aren't in the UK, in the top left-hand corner is Halfords. They were my biggest client. They're the largest automotive and bicycle retailer in the UK. And we were pretty much their exclusive marketing agency at the time. We used to produce everything from what we would call micro websites through to email marketing campaigns, through to brochures, photography, you name it. We did all sorts. And you know what? It was great. What used to happen is I used to get a phone call to go in and take a brief. I would price up the brief. They'd give me the work. I'd bring it back to the studio. The team would actually produce the project, whatever that might be. We would deliver the project, and then I'd send an invoice, and within 30 to 60 days, I would get paid. And that was the way the business ran. And so every month, we went back to zero because it meant that we had to get more work in, get more jobs in. And that's the way most businesses still work. That's the way most marketing agencies work. And that's pretty common. I found that to be a huge mistake. And I'll tell you why, guys. It's because I had all my eggs in one basket, meaning that my business model, there was only one way of doing it, and I only had a few clients. So it meant that every month I had to start from zero, work and get the work delivered, get the work in, make the sales, and make sure that everybody got paid and the overheads were covered. And that was fine for a while. Bearing in mind, I started the business when in a recession in 2001. There was a recession going on right then. But by the time 2008 hit, well, I've got to tell you guys, that recession was a big one. And some of you may remember it. But let me tell you what happened to me in that recession, because I've got to be honest, it was awful. I went from running the business that was a regular marketing consultancy, working in the regular way, the way everybody does, to actually, waking up at the beginning of the month thinking, how am I going to get some work in? Because all of my customers, because of the recession, because of the way that they were letting fear rule them, they decided it was a much better idea for them to hang on to their cash, not spend it.
Yeah, mate, you're a bit scratchy.
You're going to be scratchy. Bear with me.
Yeah. How you doing? Is that Mohammed? Maz. How you doing? You right? Yeah, I've put you on mute. Don't worry, mate. We'll unmute towards the end. Nice to see you. Thank you for coming in today.
Is that any better, Ed?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, no worries. Sorry, I've had to get rid of my microphone. It's playing up. It lasts for about 20 minutes before it stops working for some reason.
Good to see you, Maz. Thanks for joining us today.
Cool. So this was not a pretty time for me, guys, because what happened was the overhead stayed the same, but my customers, based on what they'd seen happening in the recession, decided it was a good idea to stop, to hang on to their money and wait and see. Now, this happens in every recession, guys. You'll see it in the recession that we've just been through and we're in right now, in that business owners let fear rule them and they hunker down. Most of them reduce their budgets because the fear of the unknown means that they want to hang on to their cash. And for a business like mine, where every month I had to make sales in order to, pay the overheads and grow my business, it was disastrous. It was disastrous because that was a big recession, guys. For those of you that lived through it, you'll remember. The banks were going bust. Everybody was, really focused on this nasty recession that we're in. And for me, it meant that all of a sudden I was living off savings. I was starting to think, well, how am I going to, when's this going to turn around? And I had to make redundancies, guys. I had to get rid of my staff who'd worked for me for years, people I considered to be my best friends, and that was awful. I had to sell my car. I didn't get paid. It was really tough. And you know what, guys? I got through that recession by the skin of my teeth. I just about managed to keep the business going. More by luck than judgment, But let me tell you, I wouldn't wish it on anybody. Let me tell you what I found out as I was slowly starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. There have been 34 recessions since 1854. So what I'm saying here, guys, is that these things come along regularly. It was no surprise. Every 10 to 15 years, there's going to be a recession. The recession that we're in right now, caused by the pandemic, was predicted. We were heading for a dip. And, that's the way the economy works. So if you've got a business, you need to understand that as your business grows, you need to have a plan for the next recession. Because my feeling was, if I had a business that as soon as a recession came along, the wheels fell off, how can I call myself an entrepreneur? And that's the thought process that I went through. So I set about changing the way that I did business. And to do that, I studied successful businesses that actually expanded in a recession, not contracted. And you will have seen it in the pandemic, guys. There have been plenty of businesses, our business is one of them, that expand in a recession, not contract. And why is that? Well, let me tell you a little story, guys. There was a guy that came to me in that last recession. It was around about 2009. The recession was really kicking in. And this guy, Martin, said to me, Grant, been your customer for a while now. We're in the middle of this recession. I want to double my marketing spend with you. And I said, Martin, that's awesome news. I'm delighted. But why? Everybody else is cutting their budgets. He said, well, I've been in business a long time now. This is my third recession. And he said, let me tell you what happens in a recession. All of my competitors in a recession are going to reduce their marketing budgets. They're going to hunker down and they're going to wait and see if they can ride it out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to double my marketing spend. I'm going to mop up all their customers. And when we come out of this recession, I'm going to have loads more customers than they are. And I'm going to be riding high. And he was one of the businesses that got me through that recession by him doubling his budget. And you know what? He did exactly what he said he was going to do. And within 2 years, at the end of that recession, he was able to sell the business and retire. And he'd done exactly what he said he was going to do. So expanding in a recession, not contracting, is the key. And that's what I wanted to do. And that's why I set about restructuring the way my business worked. And what I actually did was I changed the way that I sold my products and services. And I actually set up another business that was an app development business. Way back when app development was a new thing, it was back in 2010. And I sold hundreds of small little apps, mobile apps, to small businesses for a small monthly fee. And I sold them en masse. And that was a picture of us back there. It was probably about 2011 or so, that maybe 2012. And we made a real success of it. And we ended up having hundreds of customers all spending a small amount of money every month with us, rather than a handful of customers spending a large amount of money, and not really knowing whether they're going to continue to do that month in, month out. And this completely changed the way that I looked at business, because that actually is a much more robust and recession-proof business. But let me tell you what was a real shock to me, guys. I was working with all these small businesses. When I've been used to working with big businesses, I've been used to working with marketing departments, people who knew what they were talking about. Small businesses, I was really surprised to find out, didn't really understand marketing. And they didn't really understand how to leverage the power of the mobile app that we'd given them. And I said to my team, this is really frustrating, but a fantastic opportunity. If we could actually deliver to these small businesses a tool that was able to leverage the technology that we know that we can give them, but do it in a really simple way that actually got results for them, and make it affordable. That was the key. Make it affordable for a small business, because obviously we did this, but for big business, and we used to charge £10,000 a pop for a cool website with all the whistles and bells. I said to my guys, let's see if we can do this, and let's see if we can do it and make it affordable. And of course, my team were skeptical. They said, Grant, we're not going to be able to do that, because we're used to charging £10,000 plus for it all starts with a website. If you want to give a small business the tools that they need to leverage the internet, you've got to give them a cool website, but these things cost a lot of money. I said, we've got to find a way of delivering this for a price that is affordable. And I set the bar at £1,000. So about 20,000 Rand to you guys over there, or somebody in the States, you're looking at about sort of $1,400 as the kind of bar that I set. They told me it couldn't be done, but obviously I kept pushing. And it was 2013, November 2013, that I sat down with Carl, my lead developer. It was on a rainy night in November, and he said, Grant, take a look at this. And he showed me a platform that still sends shivers down my spine when I remember that meeting, because that platform was the basis of what we now call Blam websites. And he said, Grant, look at this. We can deliver all this tech, all of these tools, and we can actually do this for a price that is affordable to a small business. We can hit that £1,000 barrier. And that really was it for me. That's when it all started to make sense. And of course, that was the beginning of Blam websites. So what I want to do now, guys, is just talk to you a little bit about those websites, because in the last nearly 8 years, 7.5 years, they've come on such a long way. But in principle, they still deliver on the original premise, and that is to help small business owners be successful online using technology that can help give them the competitive advantage against the big businesses, to be, in the same league as the big businesses. We call it the AI website revolution, and the AI technology that we build into our websites, like I say, it's been around since 2013. It's been around since before that. But the amount of businesses that are leveraging it, especially small businesses, is minimal. And we can actually deliver this in a website at a really affordable cost and get results. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to explain a little bit about what an AI website is in a similar way to the way we'd explain it to one of our small businesses. Because the important thing is, it's pretty easy to understand, even though it sounds techie. Artificial intelligence is a bit of a buzzword right now. But in actual fact, it's quite simple to get your head around. And the beauty of having this AI website as a selling tool, if you're a Blam partner, is that you put yourself in a category of one, because our competition don't sell AI websites. Our competition pretty much call themselves marketing consultants or website developers or designers. And that means that in marketing terms, we say they swim in a red ocean, because the metaphor is that in the red ocean, you've got loads of sharks fighting over the same fish. And that's all the website developers, that's all the marketing consultants. Whereas a Blam partner swims in a blue ocean where all the fish are to themselves, because they're the AI website guys. They're the ones that deliver AI website technology, and nobody else is saying that. So straight away, it distinguishes you. Some people call it a USP. We call it, blue water thinking or blue ocean thinking. And that way we differentiate ourselves straight from the get-go. But you're probably thinking, what's an AI website? So let me tell you what one is. So first and foremost, an AI website tracks the number of visits somebody makes to a website, and that means that they can deliver a unique message based on that number of visits. So for example, hi, you're a first-time visitor. Why not check out the video from our CEO or see our spring offer? Click here. So by acknowledging that they are a first-time visitor, by recognizing that, we know we hold their attention longer. We reduce bounce rate, and we've got more opportunity to then get them to take action on the website. And a small little thing like that can make all the difference to the conversion rates. So we can track a first time, second time, or third time visitor and give them all a different message, which is really powerful stuff. And then we've got something that we call themes around a calendar, but it means that we can do these really cool little animations based around a calendar. So an obvious one would be snow during Christmas or winter time, depending on where you are in the world. Or it might be hearts at Valentine's. It might be pumpkins at Halloween, or fireworks at some other celebration like a New Year or, Diwali, Thanksgiving, that kind of stuff. And we've got loads of these little themes that we can develop into the website based on the brief that gets sent to us by the Blam partner. And then these will show up in accordance with that calendar, so that we can really grab people's attention. Because what we know is, from all the, you know, the scientific analysis that goes into people studying websites, that when you've got movement on a website, and then when you've got something that grabs somebody's attention, like, you know, an animation like the fireworks that we're looking at now, we've got more opportunity to get them to stay on the page and actually take action. Because what we want our websites to do is we want them to get people to take more action. And we can get people to take more action based on the AI technology. And it can be up to 20% more people can take action. And that is a significant difference over a static website, which gives us what we call our competitive advantage, because nobody else at our price level is doing this. You'll see the Amazons and the eBays of this world leverage this technology, but not small business owners, because for the most part, they don't understand it and they can't afford it. Whereas we give them the tools where they can. And as you can see, it all looks pretty cool. You could, by the way, also change the whole way the website looks. At the moment, you're looking at a deal that we were doing that was a half-price website for Black Friday. We can change what the actual website says based around a calendar as well. So, you know, you might have a spring offer, it might be a summer offer, it could be a Christmas offer, and all of that can be pre-populated in advance, and then it will change based on the calendar inputs that are put in by our developers, meaning that it gets changed on autopilot. Again, really simple. Our Blam partners don't need to worry about any of the technology. They just need to understand how it works, because our designers and developers do all the work. And then we've got geolocation, which is really cool, because when you arrive on the website in a specific location, we can detect where that person is, and if it's relevant, we can give them a message about that location. So when we were in South Africa a couple of years ago now, unfortunately, in fact, Ed, did you know last weekend came up on my Facebook was 2 years to the day that we were last in San Diego. Traffic and conversion.
It just seems like, you know, I mean, this is the thing. International travel has not been happening, has it? So no. Amazing. Yeah. I just I found a little video of our trip to South Africa that time. So that was December 2018, wasn't it? So yeah,
I guess it would have been, wouldn't it? Yeah. It's frustrating, isn't it? It is frustrating, because we went to
South Africa. We love it there.
We love it. And we love Sandton. We went to Sandton, which is a part of Johannesburg, for those of you that don't know. And we did a conference there. So we had a free seminar. So when people landed on our own website, if they were from the Johannesburg area, they received a message that said, "Welcome to Sandton," and invited them to come and see us at the seminar. And that was all triggered by location. If you went onto our website and you were somewhere else in the world, you just would have seen the normal website. So we can actually pinpoint the location and deliver a message. And again, proven to get more conversions. Really powerful stuff, guys. And that's another great feature of a Blam website. And then finally, we've got device detection. So do you remember when mobile phones used to be used to actually make phone calls? Well, we can actually do a trigger on our website that detects that you're on a phone when you're visiting the website, and encourage you just to click a button to make a call. Because again, we want to try and give people the opportunity to leverage the website to actually get them to take action. And one of the key ways we can do that is by making a phone call.
And the thing is, this is a really important point, actually, because this is where actually becoming a Blam partner or a consultant come in. Because it's to use technology like this to help your client get more from the website, so that previously the website may be there, but nothing really is happening. So, but if the number one way of getting in touch with that client is using the telephone, then why not put that on there as the main thing that needs to happen when people land on it on a mobile phone? Because that's what they want, So it's brilliant, and it's we'll talk about it. It's about solving the actual problem with the technology, and that's why we're so passionate about this opportunity to have people like yourself who are problem solvers who can go out there and help small businesses. Anyway, that was a bit of a long-winded way to say I agree with you.
So, I mean, with our AR websites, there's loads of other stuff that they do, as I'm sure you can imagine. This is just one aspect of it. So what Ed's going to do, he's going to drop in a little link into the chat. And if you want to go on a deep dive with Ed, where he'll tell you in a lot more detail about the products and services and a bit more about Blam, you can book into his calendar and get in one of those deep dives and find out more about Blam and about Blam websites and everything that goes with it. But what I'm going to do is just talk to you a little bit more about the way that we actually sell these websites. Because if you remember, when I talked about my previous business, when things got tough because of the way that, the business model that I had, the thing that actually turned it all around for me was these 3 little letters. And I do wonder, guys, anybody in this context of business, do you know what MRR stands for? It'd be great to have a little pop quiz. Stick it in the chat if you know what MRR stands for. We may well give out a prize for the funniest answer, because we're always looking for the best answer to this. But yeah, feel free. My personal favorite is multiple Rolls Royces. That's my personal favorite. What's your favorite, Ed?
Maximum rock and roll.
Maximum rock and roll. Yeah. What's that one about? Mums really rock. That's one of your favorites.
That's it. Mums really rock.
Any takers, or shall I put you out your misery? Okay, here we go. Monthly recurring revenue.
Right, Maz?
Does he get it right?
I don't know. I think because they're watching on the mobile, it's quite hard to use the chat, so don't worry.
Of course, no worries. So monthly recurring revenue is the mantra that we have at Blam. This is what all of our Blam partners adhere to. And this is really what is the game changer. And it was the game changer for me in business, because waking up at the beginning of the month, knowing that if you don't make any sales that month, you've still not got a worry in the world, is the only place to be. Because monthly recurring revenue is what you can achieve with your own digital marketing agency if you use a selling technique that we use in order to sell websites and apps. And believe it or not, it comes along with a couple of other things that you might be surprised to hear. And that is that we do not charge an upfront design fee. That may sound counterintuitive to some of you guys, but we don't charge an upfront design fee. We don't put our customers in a long-term contract. We don't say it's a minimum of a year or 2 years. In actual fact, we just do a service level agreement that it's rolling. It's basically rolling. They can cancel anytime. Now, a lot of people get confused by this. They think, why would they do that? What if they want to cancel? How do I make my money up front? Well, the honest answer, the reason we do it, because it makes more sales. And when those sales are based on a monthly recurring revenue, you will actually make more money overall this way, believe it or not. And the client will know that they're getting a really good deal. And so with the Blam partnership program, we show you how you can leverage a monthly recurring revenue model that means that you can build that recurring revenue up to the point where every month your overheads are covered, you're growing a really strong business, and because you've got that recurring revenue, you've got something that is rock solid, and it gives you lots more choices and lots more opportunity. Now, you might be questioning how we do that. You might be thinking, how does that work? Well, it all comes from this at the top here, the sales process. That's how we do it. We've got a sales process that works. But let me tell you this, guys, that image, if that image of that guy is the image you think of when you think of a salesperson, if that is your go-to default impression of what a salesperson is like, then you're a lot like I was. You're a lot like I was probably 15 years ago now, when I first started my sort of, building my business journey. Because a salesperson is something that a lot of people have a negative impression of. So quite often, if I'm doing my mentoring sessions and I ask somebody, write down some of the characteristics that you associate with the salesperson, they'll give me some quite negative feedback quite often. Things like, pushy, slimy, used car salesman, dishonest even sometimes, Dell boy, that kind of scenario, if you know what I mean. And that was exactly the kind of impression I used to have. In fact, when
Lovely
I first
jubbly.
started, say again, sorry?
Lovely jubbly.
Lovely jubbly, is that your Del boy? So one of the things that's one of my coaches said to me, he said, listen, what you've got to realize is if you are in business, you are in sales. If you are in business, you are in sales. Now, I argued the toss on this one. I said, well, I'm not in sales. I'm actually a CEO. I'm the managing director of this business. You know, I've got salespeople that work for me. I'm not in sales. And so he said, okay, fair enough. So if you're, you know, Mr. Businessman, who do you want to be like? Who's your business guru? And at the time I said, well, Steve Jobs, one of my heroes going back a few years. He was one of my heroes. And Richard Branson, you know, bit of a cool guy. I thought, you know, the way he goes about his business. And he said, well, Steve Jobs, let's take that as an example. When he sells from the stage, and he just sells from the stage, he presents his new, you know, iPhone, iPad, MacBook, whatever it might be that he's launching. Millions of people go out and buy his products in droves. He's an awesome salesperson. In fact, he's probably the best stage salesperson there's ever been. Apple is now the biggest company in the world. How does that happen? Because you don't even notice you're being sold to, in the same way that when you see Richard Branson do one of his crazy stunts, you know, like go around the world in a hot air balloon, or, you know, jump out of a helicopter on a bungee rope. These kind of stunts, these are selling techniques. These are sales tools, but you don't notice you're being sold to. Now, what I say is, don't look, smell, or taste like a salesperson, let alone sound like one, if you want to be a professional salesperson. Because just like Steve Jobs and Richard Branson, when you become a professional salesperson, you'll be a lot more like a business person and a lot less like the stereotypical salesperson. And this was the phrase that was taught to me all those years ago. When you become a professional salesperson, you won't come across like you're selling. And that's really, really important, because all we're really doing in sales is we are presenting the information about our product and service in such a way that our prospect has got the ability to make an informed decision about whether it's right for them or not. That's really what selling is about. And if we can do that in a professional, consultative way, then we can actually make a lot more sales and help a lot more people in doing so. And that's really what we teach at Blam, because we've got a system at Blam. And my belief is if you follow a proven system and you don't deviate, you will get results. And Blam has got a proven system that we follow that is a selling system that we've refined over the years. You know, that took us 15 years to actually put together. It was 15 years before I started, 14 years before I actually started doing the partnership program of being in business and getting all this together. But my view is, whatever business you go into, guys, whether you go into Blam, you might be running a business already, or you might be looking at starting your first business. Please embrace the idea that if you are in business, you are in sales, and get yourself a system. There's plenty of systems out there that you can follow. Our system is very specific to selling the websites and digital marketing tools that we provide in a very specific way. But if you're going to go it alone, study, make it your job to understand that your job is sales. Because if you want to scale your business, you've got to learn to do it yourself first before you can train others. Do not rely on others to sell for you until you've learned it yourself. And I learned that the hard way, guys, I promise you. I learned that the hard way. So that's what we now do at Blam. Is Ed and I are at the head of Blam Partners. We've been doing it for over 6 years now, helping people like you form their own digital marketing agency, selling digital marketing products to small to medium-sized businesses using that monthly recurring revenue model. We take care of all the tech, all the back office, all of the design, the support, the development, all of the training, the mentoring, the education and the motivation, so that our partners can go and grow their business more effectively, more quickly, more efficiently, rather than having to build everything from scratch themselves like I did. So from day one as a Blam partner, you've got our entire team, our entire back office at your disposal, meaning that you can focus on the things that are going to help you grow your business. like getting new customers, like helping those customers scale their businesses and providing them with the marketing consultancy that we teach you on how to provide. We absolutely love what we do, guys. And, I hope that comes across with the way that we present. With the Blam Partnership Program, we're very hands-on. Ed and I are at the forefront helping partners every day. A lot of people think that we spend a lot of time doing this sort of stuff, but this is kind of a small part of what we do. The bulk of what we do is helping partners every day. And we love it, guys. We love it. But it doesn't what business you guys go into. There's a question that you do need to ask, and that is, what problem do we solve? Because really, any business is about having the ability to solve somebody's problem to such an extent that they're willing to pay for it. That's what business is. It's about that exchange of money for your service or your product to solve somebody's problem, and they've got to be willing to pay for it. It's really common, guys, especially in the app world, that people come to you with an idea for an app that sounds really cool, but it's not really solving anybody's problem, or not to the extent that somebody's willing to pay for it. And we've got a massive problem we deal with, guys, and that's with small businesses that are looking to get digital marketing because they haven't got the time, they don't understand how to do their own marketing, they haven't got the knowledge and the skills, and they're worried about where they're going to spend their money, because this digital marketing revolution that we're in is ridiculously fast-paced, especially over the last 12 months. Wow, the acceleration has been tremendous. It's always changing, and it's now more important than ever, because now if small businesses haven't got a digital strategy, they really are being left behind, and they all know it. In fact, one of the things that a statistic I saw, another crazy statistic that I've seen over this last 6 months, is that if you added up all the small businesses, and by the way, guys, there's a huge growth in small businesses about to happen as we start to come out of recession. People will get made redundant. There's lots of money sloshing around because of the grants and whatnot. Loads of people will be starting their own business over the next 6 months. If you added all of the small and medium-sized businesses together and then divided them up between all of the digital marketing agencies in the world, they'd have 250,000 customers each. So there is a huge amount of supply, and the demand is really high, but a shortage of actual proper consultants that can help. So the opportunity is huge, absolutely huge, because as I've demonstrated, they can't do it on their own. And that's why we're on a real mission at Blam. And our big audacious goal is to be the world's biggest designer of websites and apps for small businesses. That is our goal. The reason we want to do that is because we know that our products and services and our systems and our processes and our Blam partners are the perfect fit to help these small businesses. And that's why we've got this big audacious goal. We can't achieve that unless we have a partnership program. As you can imagine, trying to do that on our own would be, a task that would be beyond us. But with a network of partners around the world that are entrepreneurs, that are entrepreneurial, that can use our systems and processes, we've got the ability to grow and scale, knowing that the entrepreneurs at the front of the business are the ones that are delivering the right advice with the right enthusiasm, the right passion. And we call it a peer-to-peer sale, because when you've got an entrepreneur selling to another entrepreneur, that peer-to-peer sale is so much more effective. And so this sort of driving force behind us is built on these three main pillars. One, and each pillar is called a why. It's based on Simon Sinek's philosophy around, the power of why. And we're driven because we know, we've got this why, this real emotional driver behind each one of our pillars. The first one's our products, and I've told you a lot about our AI websites already. I mean, like I said, I've touched on it really, and Ed can show you more about them. But they are future-proof, so they get updated every month. There are updates for all of our customers. They're never going to go out of date. A drag and drop editor is now more and more important for customers because they like to know that they've got control of their sites. Although we will update it as much as they ask for, all that is included in our cost, but they can do it themselves if they want to. We supply all the support, so our partners don't need to worry about being techie or offering tech support. We do all of that. Plus, the partners get full access to all of our websites through a dashboard, meaning they've got full transparency of everything that we're doing. Everything is put onto Amazon Web Servers, AWS, and comes with a security certificate. In other words, everything's covered from start to finish, and with no hidden costs or anything else. I could talk about our AI websites for a while. We're very passionate about them, but that's where Ed's deep dive will come in really well. Like I say, you can book on that by clicking on the link in the chat. That'll take you through to his diary, and you can book a slot where he can show you more. Then we've got our app strategy. Apps is where I started this MRR journey, and we've got a philosophy and a strategy to help you sell apps. And again, we do all the design, the development. We take care of all the tech. All of our partners have to do is create the right brief and give the right advice to their customers so that we can take care of the rest. And we're very proud of our app selling strategy as well, because it's based on selling hundreds of apps ourselves. This is not, straight. It's not out of anybody's textbook. This is built on real world experience. Blam Social is our own posting social media platform. It's absolutely awesome. I could spend a whole presentation just on this, and it gets included in the partnership program, meaning that the add-ons and the upsells that we can provide a Blam partner, like posting to social media, like being able to manage the content for up to 6 different platforms, gaining another month recurring revenue model is all part of what gets included in the package. And again, using an AI algorithm with all the content pre-designed and pre-populated. Like I say, Ed will tell you more on the deep dive. SEO is a big part of what we do, search engine optimization. In my opinion, every website should come with this. It's another monthly recurring revenue model, and it means that we can help your customers get access to that vital, those vital top pages in Google, so that they're going to get more traffic through their site, which is going to get them more customers. And again, Ed can tell you more about this, but it's a really cool part of what we do. Our second pillar, our second why, is our processes, and our systems and training are key. So we'll be starting up training again in our offices in the UK. Should be May, looking by the way things are going. So for those of you in the UK, if you want to come and visit us, that is no problem. As well as we will start, as soon as things open up in terms of travel, we will start traveling again, which we couldn't last year, which is a shame. But you know what, guys, it didn't make that much difference to us, because the bulk of the training that we've always provided is much like we're doing it now. We go live twice a week to all of our partners, all of our network, with new and bespoke training every single week, as well as the back office and our Blam certified partner certification, meaning that every partner goes through in-depth training that's delivered through our learning management system to enable our partners to be certified and trained with all the information they need to apply our selling process, to understand our products, our services, and get that seal of approval that the Blam certified partner logo gives you. Not only that, we give you all of Digital Marketer's certified marketing courses. And for those of you that don't know, Digital Marketer are considered to be the best marketing trainers on the planet. And these courses, which are worth over $5,000, are provided to every single partner as part of the package. And going through this training means that you not only be certified with a really credible certification, but you'll be able to apply this knowledge to help your customers. It means that when you join Blam, the training, the mentoring, the coaching, the education that we give you means that you will never need any more marketing training at all. We actually take care of the lot, both ongoing as well as in the learning management system with all of the stuff. It's also backed up by a huge resource center of everything Blam, so that the one thing that you're not going to be wanting for, guys, is the education, the motivation, and all the mentoring that you need to be a successful digital marketer. And that finally brings me on to our third and final why, which is our people. None less so than what we know as the Blam partner mentor, Mr. Edward van der Klein. This picture was taken before he turned into a silver fox, and just last week when Ed. That shot.
The first time, walked past, where the shampoos are, and the Grecian 2000 actually caught my It's like I have to hold my hand back. Like, no, no, don't do it.
You just want to be grateful you've got hair, mate. I don't have to worry about shampoo at all. Do you understand?
No, I need a haircut, that's for sure. The hairdressers are opening up in April, so I've got another month of this.
So yeah, we've got another month. But let me tell you a little bit about Ed, guys, because you'll understand why the relevance of this is when we get to the end. Because Ed is our Blam partner mentor, and he started his journey in hospitality and actually ran one of the big restaurants in Disneyland Paris back in the day. And while he was there, he read a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which is a really famous book by a guy called Robert Kiyosaki. If you haven't read that book, guys, I recommend it. It's absolutely, it's reading that you have to have done if you want to become an entrepreneur. In that book, it says, if you are in business, you have to learn how to sell. And never has a true word been said by the great man, Robert Kiyosaki. And Ed took this on board, and he knew that he needed to learn how to sell because Ed had the entrepreneurial itch. He wanted to be an entrepreneur. And so he did it the hard way, guys. He went out and did door-to-door sales, which, that's the tough way to learn. But he persevered. Ended up becoming a professional salesperson, and then ended up running his own digital marketing consultancy, where he was also a LinkedIn trainer. Now, that's more or less where we met. And Ed actually sat in on a presentation, much like the one you are on now, over 4 years ago now, and actually signed up and became a Blam partner. So Ed handed over his hard-earned cash, became a Blam partner because as a digital marketing consultant, he realized that by outsourcing the graft, the back office to us, he could focus on growing his business. And because of the revenue structure that we put in, he knew he could actually earn more money doing it that way and let us do the heavy lifting. Of course, we really hit it off. He became a very successful partner, and partners started asking advice of him. And we were lucky enough for him actually to join the management team. And now Ed is now full-time with Blam. He's now director of the business. And he and I head up the business, actually helping partners become successful. And the thing is, when you speak to Ed, you're not just speaking to somebody who's learned it from a textbook. This is somebody who was a Blam partner. Ed and I still make a point of making sales occasionally as well. We keep our pencil sharp because we're always testing the theory. We're always pushing the boundaries and seeing how we can improve because we're in a fast-moving marketplace. So when you talk to Ed, guys, just bear that in mind. He knows the score. He knows what it's all about. And as for the ongoing support that Ed and myself provide, it's all measured through the back office where we've got a team that support our partners. Our support is everything. If we're not keeping our partners happy and supported, we haven't got a business. So I'm pleased to say that most of the time we're running at 100% positive feedback because we've got a feedback system that we provide. Occasionally when we have a blip, it gives us the opportunity to improve. And so we always jump on it if we get any negative feedback. And overall, that means that our job is to take care of the tech, and our entrepreneurs, our partners, take care of that entrepreneurial bit, the bit where they can go out and grow their business. And as long as they've got an internet connection, a laptop and a phone, lockdown has proved this, we can work from anywhere because we've always done presentations like this. We've always trained people to do presentations like this. You don't need to do face-to-face meetings with digital marketing. It's kind of the point. But of course, when things do loosen up and lockdowns are less of a thing, it's always nice to meet people face-to-face if you want to, but you can literally do business anywhere in the world. As we are now, guys, we've got an international crowd on today. And that's the way it is with digital. It makes the world a much smaller place. Now, hopefully you guys, if you haven't already, get the chance to look at some of our partner testimonials. We've got loads of them. If you go to blampartners.com/testimonials, you can watch these testimonials. I'm not gonna play them now, but these are our partners that have sent us in little video testimonials. And really the point I want to make is they're from all different parts of the world. They're from all different scenarios. Some of our partners start their Blam partner journey as a side gig whilst they're in full-time employment. Sometimes they're in part-time. Sometimes, they're unemployed or they've just handed in their notice or they've got another business and they go full on with the Blam partnership. Our job is to facilitate whatever the scenario is for the Blam partner. Make sure that they understand what it is that that motivates somebody to be successful, and allow us to show them how they can then grow their business. And like I say, they're from all different parts of the world, from different backgrounds. Sherelle there is one of our successful partners, been with us for years now. She's growing a team, and she's on her way to building a substantial business. She's an ex-professional footballer. Mike, who's based over in Florida, ex-corporate guy, took a voluntary redundancy a couple of years ago, and then set up on his own. He whittled us down from 2,500 franchises. So that's some due diligence that guy did. We met with him in San Diego actually a couple of years ago when he first joined us. So it's nearly 2 years to the day he's joined us, and now he's got a team and he's building a nice business. This guy's building a hell of a team. When I interviewed him, actually, Spencer, he's an ex-IFA, so he's kind of more of an accountancy type guy. Knew nothing about marketing, nothing about sales. He's embraced the process. He's now got a team as well. And God, he's come on a long way since that interview, I've got to tell you, because that interview was probably over a year ago now. And then Matt, another great guy. This guy has now gone full-time in his business. He started full-time work. During lockdown, he was able to completely give up work, and now he's full-time on his own. Best decision he ever made. Love that testimonial. It's hilarious because he talks about the way he embraced it. It took 18 months for him to actually take the plunge, to actually go from working full-time for somebody else. As I always say, he went from making somebody else's dreams come true by working for somebody else to actually making his own dreams come true by running his own business. And that's one of my favorite testimonials because it's hilarious. And then finally, I'll just finish off with Sarah, who posted this right at the beginning of lockdown. And I love this because she posted it into the Inner Circle Facebook group. And this really sums up the whole monthly recurring revenue model and why it's so powerful. Because at the beginning of lockdown, Sarah, like everybody else, wasn't sure what was going to go on, this time last year. And she said, I have to say, Grant, I'm hugely grateful to Blam for encouraging me to build a business based on a recurring monthly income, as I'm hoping it will help me weather the storm more easily than other businesses. I'm feeling very sorry for lots of people. And this, of course, goes to show that, she didn't have to worry because she had a monthly recurring revenue. She had to homeschool her child. She was the same as everybody else, wasn't sure what was going on. But she didn't have to worry about not being able to run her business, like she would do normally because she had that monthly recurring revenue. And just to give you a bit of an overview of what that means in terms of money, guys, Ed can actually run through what we call a revenue assumptions calculator, which we've got in our back office. And this can give you a bit of an understanding of what you're likely to earn based on some of our sort of average sale costs. So if you were to sell one website a week, which is kind of what we would recommend aiming for. And one of those also came with an app and also with an SEO package. That would be an average month. If you did that 12 months in a row, you are likely to be earning, based on, once you've paid us and based on an average sale price out of our websites of being around about £100 or, $130 then that would back 2,000 Rand. That would lead to £6,600 recurring every month, or 7,800 euros, over 100,000 Rand, over 8,200 US, and over 10,300 Canadian or Australian. And that means that the recurring revenue would keep coming in after you've paid us on that basis if all your clients stayed on board. And websites are very sticky, by the way, guys. They are very sticky. So that gives you a bit of an understanding. Of course, that would double by year 2. And if you think that is, a good return on investment, what we say about Blam is, guys, this isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. This isn't some kind of, sell on Amazon, secret to success, fountain of youth and all that nonsense. This is a proper business. This is a solid business that builds a recurring revenue because you're helping other small businesses with their digital marketing. You're selling them websites, apps, SEO services. It's not overly complicated, but that doesn't mean it's easy. You have to apply the learning that we can show you how, and you can build a solid business with recurring revenue over a period of months that is sustainable. And like I say, it's a solid business. So if that is of interest to you, I'm now going to talk to you about what it costs to get involved with the Blam Partnership, and what you get for your money. If it's not something that's of interest to you, I'd just like to quickly say thank you for your time and attention. I hope you found the presentation useful. Don't forget, if you're in business, you're in sales, get yourself a system when it comes to that selling. Remember the USP, the blue ocean thinking, what differentiates you, and remember the monthly recurring revenue model. That is what's going to get you through a recession. That's what's going to give you security. For those of you that are still here, thank you for your time and attention. Let me show you what's involved in the Blam package today. Okay, so first and foremost, guys, if you sign up with us this month, you get the Blam certification. Now, this is our secret sauce. This is everything that we know rolled into a learning management system, which is videos, questionnaires, and able to run a business through using our products and services and systems worth over £10,000, together with the exclusive access to the Blam management team, which we say is priceless, because knowledge is really, really important, but having the accountability and the application of that knowledge is key. And that's what we're here to do, is to help you make sure you know how to apply that knowledge. And that's really, really important. Then we've got the training, and one of those is the Facebook training, which is exclusive just to Blam partners. So it's in the inner circle group, and it's launching of new products. It's training. It's about partner interviews, all sorts of stuff in there, and the whole back catalogue is in there in the Facebook group as well, which gives you a real insight into the world of Blam. It's worth over £2,500 a year. It's included in the package, as well as the partner deals. So every 6 weeks we launch a new deal. That means partners get the opportunity to use a deal that we provide, that gives them the collateral, the incentive, the graphics, the social media posts, the press releases, all the stuff that gets bundled together to allow you to go out and do the deals. And it always gets traction and results. Then we get the Blam Social Training Resource Center, meaning that Blam Social, this awesome package, is made available to all partners so that you've got another tool that you can sell on with a monthly recurring revenue. And it really is such an awesome tool. It's like a whole partnership program in itself, Blam Social. It really is super cool. It's worth over £2,000. It's included in this package. Then we've got the accountability program. So once you've made your first sale, you get allocated to a multi-mind group, which means that you get to mix with other Blam partners every month, sharing wins, sharing challenges, and helping each other grow. Spending time with like-minded people is such an important part of running a business. We think this is one of the most powerful things that we offer in Blam. It's worth over £5,000, and it's included in this offer today. Plus, you get your own brand. So we will design you your own logo if you need one, your own brand, and that will come combined with a Blam AI website, an app, and all the enhanced and bespoke features that come with it. Worth over £2,500 included in the package. Then we've got the weekly sales webinars. So every week, Ed will be presenting to you an element of training, usually in and around the sales side of things, helping you grow your business by using our training process, our sales process. Worth over £2,500. It's every single week. And that is included in the package, as well as the digital marketing training system. So that means that all of the certified training courses worth over £5,000 are included in this package. You get full access, no holds barred, with all of the collateral that comes with it, delivered by the best trainers in the world. Makes you one of the best trained marketers on the planet. And then finally, the bespoke marketing materials. This means that we will design your business cards, your leaflets, your pull-up banners, and all the stuff that you need to be branded, to be part, to have all of your own branding, to represent you and your business in the way that people expect. Worth over £1,000, and that is included. And then, last but not least, this month we're doing a Diffie package, which means do it for you, which would be to design your own websites and your own apps through our system. That means all of our tech team are there for you, designers, developers, account managers, tech support for you. This is included for 6 months in our partnership program. Normally would cost you over £48,000 if you're outsourcing for the year all your different products and services to freelancers, which is what Ed used to do. You'd be looking at, and based on selling what we talked about before, you know, one website a week, you're looking at over £48,000 worth of outsourced costs. This is part of the package for 6 months in the deal this month, which is an awful lot of value. We call it the do it for you because you don't have to worry about any of the design and development. So if we add all of that value up into one package, it's over £80,000 worth of value, or over 118,000 US dollars, which is over 2 million rand, or nearly 100,000 euros, and 154 Canadian or Australian. Now that's the value, guys. It's not what we charge. As I'm sure you've seen on the website, the investment, upfront investment is £15,000. The deal that we are doing for this month, and I know it says Feb, it should say March, because I've realised it's now March. We are doing a deal of 11,995, so just under £12,000 sterling. However, we are not charging any ongoing fees for 6 months, which makes this a really, really powerful offer, because the ongoing fees, which are $299 a month, which gives you access to that Diffie offer, are normally part of the monthly fee that partners pay every month, which again is a really good deal. You don't have to worry about any of those fees for 6 months. That means by the time that you have to start paying your $299 a month, which again is a bargain anyway, you're already up and cooking. You've already got clients on board. You're already selling. So depending on what part of the world you're in, if you're in the US, that's 16,500. Still a significant discount on the normal price. If you're in Canada, it's 21,000. If you're in Europe, it's 14,000. South Africa, 250. Australia, 21,000. We have got 5 slots left. We only sell 6 a month. 5 slots left for this particular deal. We only do 6 a month, guys, because we are very hands-on. Ed and I, you know, do give our time to our partners as part of the onboarding. So we do limit the offer. You know, if you join us on another one of these webinars later in the month, you'll see that, you know, these, when they're gone, they're gone. And that's the way we do it, guys. Now, if this is something that you are interested in, if it's something you want to talk to us about, but you're worried about, you know, what are the funding options, let's jump on a deep dive, because we do have funding options, and we work with our partners to try and come up with a deal if you are really keen to join us. What we're looking for, guys, are people that are motivated to help small businesses, that want to join us, that want to come on the journey with us. And if the upfront fee that we need to do split payments on, then we've got a number of different deals that we can do. If you're in the UK, we've had loads of success with the government startup loans, which is awesome. But, you know, if you want to just get cracking and get up and cooking as quickly as possible, next deep dive, Ed. So you can do it by clicking on the chat. If you sign the proposal, it locks your deal, so you'll get a proposal. Ed, you've done your due diligence. You want to propose the deal, and we got that, because once the payment is made, the onboarding begins. We can have you trading within 2 weeks. Now, most partners are more like 30 days plus, but you can do it within 2 weeks if you apply yourself with determination, because we've got a lot of training that we provide, but 2 weeks is doable. And we'll work at your pace. I think that is the key. We obviously want to get you up and cooking as quickly as possible, but it comes down to you guys. It comes down to I am happy to take questions. I really appreciate your time and attention. I just want to thank you for that, but I will now hang around and answer questions.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, Grant. Thank you very much for sticking around, guys. Really appreciate you. I saw David came in a bit later. How you doing, David? Louis, I'm sure you have some questions. Love to speak to you on the one-to-one when you get a chance to book on. If you have any questions now, Louis, feel free to unmute.
I'm fine for now. I'm fine. Thank you.
When would be a good time to have a proper chat?
I will send you a message on the inline chat and we can set up a date.
Fantastic. Yeah, or just click on the link and you've got access to my calendar, okay?
Perfect, perfect.
Maz, how you doing, my friend? Long time no speak. What it's been a while. I mean, some of you are coming in here literally because you saw our advertisement yesterday. Maz has been looking at this for a few years already. Any questions at this stage? Or Daniel? Daniel has been looking at us for, gosh, for a long time.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, sure. Maz, do you have any questions?
Nothing as yet. No, not.
Right.
I mean, if there is, then I'll always touch base.
Yeah, let's hop on a call, man. And we've got some amazing new improvements for 2021. We've got some tremendous improvements. Our business management system, which allows you to give you a source of all truth in one dashboard.
You like that,
Imagine that one.
Source of all truth.
The font of all knowledge. No, I'm not just kidding. It's actually pretty awesome. Allows you to manage your business much better, and really focus on scalability and leverage. So and we I mean, websites, mobile apps, social media management. We've got digital marketing services, SEO, and pay-per-click advertising. So really good time to get started now as well, as more and more small businesses are looking to get digitally engaged with their customers. So let's hop on a one-to-one, man. See if we can make this work for you. And there's funding available now, Maz. So we can set something up with you on the funding proposal. I'd love to show you all of that. I realize I'm still recording, which we'll just let it run for a bit longer. Thanks for sticking around. Daniel, any questions? Or David? David, are you with us?
Yes, I wanted to ask. Hello?
Yeah? Go for it. Go.
Okay. I wanted to ask you about the loan that you just proposed.
Yeah. You're based in South Africa?
Yes. So is it only applicable for those
the one that
UK?
you're providing, yes, it's based only for the UK for the UK program. But I've got some people that I can sort of point you towards in South Africa that do a similar thing. All right.
Okay.
Cool.
Awesome.
Thank you, David,
Brilliant.
for joining us today. I know you kind of came in towards the end of the presentation. What questions do you have at this stage?
Oh, he's on mute.
Right. Not to worry. I'll wrap it up then just for the video purposes. If you're watching this on the replay and you would like to talk to us, there'll be a link in the description below. Also, please, click on the subscribe button when you're there and have a look at some of the testimonials. Feel free to ask questions in the comment section, and we'll look forward to speaking to you very, very soon. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. I hope you stay safe. Yeah, let's ride out this pandemic. The vaccine will be with us soon, and before you know it, yeah, we'll be back to normal. See you on the next one. Thank you very much for watching.
Cheers, guys.